Smackdown just featured a pretty intense moment that has fans saying all types of things, so we'll see what went down there. We'll also see what's new for Tiffany Stratton, some big returns, and more. Starting things off with this last-second announcement for a WrestleMania 41 match. WWE announced this week on SmackDown that there will be a women's tag team gauntlet next week to determine the WrestleMania opponents for Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. The advertised teams for the gauntlet includes Chance and Kaden Carter, Lyra and Bailey, Shayna and Zoe, B-Fab and Mia Yim, Alba and Piper, and finally Maxine and Natalia. One of these 6 teams right there, the only team with a realistic shot of winning the opportunity, appears to be Lyra and Bailey. The rest of the teams in this match have absolutely zero momentum and nothing else really going for them right now, so it seems highly unlikely that any other team will sneak in and win the WrestleMania opportunity. It's surely going to be Lyra and Bailey. More evidence of Lyra and Bailey getting the opportunity includes all the recent events that we've been seeing from them on Raw. The story is already in place. Raquel recently challenged Lyra for the Intercontinental title, and Bailey saved Lyra from Liv and Raquel. So the basic foundation of the feud is already in place. Lyra and Bailey just need to win the gauntlet to make the match official. That appears to be where they're going with this outcome of the gauntlet match. It also serves as a great way to get a big star like Bailey on the WrestleMania card. A lot of fans were starting to worry that Bailey may be left out of WrestleMania, but it looks like this opportunity is for her to squeeze onto the show at the last second. You got some other fans out there that believe there has to be a last-second surprise coming to the women's gauntlet match. And there's 2 teams fans are theorizing as potential surprise appearances for the women's gauntlet match. The first one being the Bella Twins. Nikki and Brie have said this story many times before, but they were supposed to challenge and compete for the women's tag team titles way back in 2019, around WrestleMania 35. The Bellas were unable to compete for the titles because that's when Nikki was battling her neck injury. But now that the Bellas have squashed the beef with WWE, and now they're both medically cleared, fans are wondering if they'll compete for the women's tag team titles now. One of the most iconic tag teams in the history of the women's division, the Bellas, have never competed for the women's tag team titles, not even once. It's something that the Bellas fan base most definitely wants to see Nikki and Brie do before they fully retire. So you got these fans really crossing their fingers and hoping for a surprise appearance from the Bellas there. Is it possible? It does not seem like we'll see a return from the Bellas in this exact spot, but with Evolution 2 rumored to be coming up this summer, that'll be a great spot for the return of the Bella Twins. The other surprise entrant being discussed by fans is obviously Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. At Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, Liv Morgan ruined Alexa's chances to win both of those big matches, and fans assumed that it was building up to some more storyline of Alexa reuniting with Nikki Cross and coming back to settle the score with Liv Morgan for the tag team titles at WrestleMania 41. That's been the most popular fan theory for the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania 41 for the longest time, and despite how much we would absolutely love to see a surprise return from Alexa and Nikki, that just seems very unlikely. Alexa's on a weird creative-related hiatus, and Nikki is of course off of television due to the Wyatt Six as a whole being off television. It seems unrealistic for Nikki to return to television with Alexa, while the rest of the Wyatt Six remain in limbo. So that just seems like something that they would not do at this specific time. After WrestleMania, sure, maybe it'll work out once Alexa and the Wyatt Six properly return. But as far as Alexa and Nikki making a surprise entrant into the Gauntlet match, it doesn't seem like that's happening. So most likely it will be Lyra and Bailey versus Liv Morgan and Raquel for the titles at WrestleMania 41. We'll have to see if the Bellas or the Wyatts could be coming up for those tag team titles in the months after WrestleMania. Now let's get into the most controversial moment of the week, and that was Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair's face-to-face interview in the ring. With a lot of these WrestleMania programs, they've had a very slow and uneventful build-up to the point where you're just waiting for something major to happen. And here in the final weeks before WrestleMania, these programs are finally coming to life with some major controversial moments. The fans' reactions are extremely mixed for the Charlotte and Tiffany in-ring interview, some calling it cringe and unwatchable, while others claimed it was entertaining and definitely crossed the line. So just a complete community split regarding this segment. Charlotte opened it up by saying that she picked Tiffany because she felt like doing charity work and wanted to show that there's no comparison to her. Tiffany came out of the gate swinging right away, pointing that Charlotte's biggest competitor is the fans and how that's a battle she'll never win, which is a decent blow by Tiffany. There's been time after time over the years where WWE has tried a babyface character for Charlotte Flair, but it feels like every single time that they try, the fans never buy into it, and they have to forcefully convert Charlotte into a heel. It happened before, and it happened just a few months ago after the Royal Rumble, so a valid jab right there. Tiffany said that Charlotte acts like nothing bothers her, but how Charlotte was just crying on a talk show just a few days ago. Tiffany pointed out that Charlotte would always come second behind her father, and Tiffany did not let up at all. She said that a 25-year-old, Charlotte, was struggling to be a volleyball player and hanging out in her daddy's basement, while at 25 years old, Tiffany is WWE Women's Champion heading into WrestleMania. The two women exchanged little jabs after that. Charlotte made fun of Tiffany's voice, while Tiffany said Charlotte was nothing but a nepo baby. Then came the most talked about part where things really got off the rails. Tiffany said that after WrestleMania, Charlotte will be the same way she is outside of the ring, all alone. Tiffany mocked Charlotte for going through 3 failed marriages, dropped the mic, and left the ring. Charlotte could not let Tiffany get the last word at all, so she threw out a last-second desperate line, claiming to have Tiffany's boyfriend in her direct messages, and that's how the segment ended. And almost immediately after the segment ended, word started going around that Tiffany and Charlotte went extremely off script. And those closing remarks definitely were not in the plans at all. So for the fans saying that was awkward and hard to watch, your take is understandable because a supposed babyface bringing up someone's 3 failed marriages did feel like it was out of line and should not have been in there at all. And Charlotte's line about Tiffany's boyfriend being in her direct messages was awkward. It came off feeling desperate, like a last-second swing by Charlotte because she didn't know what else to say and did not want Tiffany to get the last word over her. So that's all true about the extreme awkwardness of it all. But if we absolutely had to pick a winner from this encounter right here, it's Tiffany Stratton, hands down. It was a complete annihilation of Charlotte Flair, between the crowd not letting Charlotte speak and Tiffany hitting Charlotte with non-stop big jabs that Charlotte didn't really respond to. It was just a complete beatdown of Charlotte. We said it before during the previous interview that Charlotte annihilated Tiffany in that segment. Well, this was the exact opposite. Tiffany and the live crowd just double-teamed Charlotte all segment long and did give her a chance to breathe. So Charlotte embarrassed Tiffany. Tiffany returned the favor. Now we gotta see who that gets that last victory before WrestleMania itself. And further proof that WWE did not approve of the closing remarks for the segment, WWE has now edited out Tiffany and Charlotte's last lines to each other from that segment on all their digital platforms. When WWE edits out a portion of the segment from their highlights and digital clips, it's a clear indication that they did not approve of that, so they trim it out. And that's what they did here with Tiffany and Charlotte's segment. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.